We on. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. I am a spiritual healer, so welcome. Definitely a great pleasure to have you guys here again, as I was saying. So, what do I do as a spiritual healer? As a spiritual healer, essentially what I do here is that I help people to attain their highest level of consciousness. Now, in this channel, to give is to receive, I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness through the power of words. Now, when I'm talking about the power of words, let's just say if you ever heard poetry, if you ever heard any smart quotes or any, let's just say, um, old saying or, wise saying or wise quotes, all of those things are what I call the power of the words because when you listen to them, you get to experience the true power of words. In other words, you get to see the word acting out on you. And those statements are so like are so fucking powerful to a point where they bypass automatically your conscious mind. So they demand your attention and they get you to a space where, they open you up. Now you are listening to the wisdom that is being said in those quotes. So, in other words, what I mean when I'm talking about, the power of words, it's not necessarily the meaning of a word, but it's how the words is being said. And that's truly what the power of words is, and that's what you see. Let's just say, if you want to talk about rap lyrics, poetry, quotes. I mean, they all have the same foundational or the same foundation, which is pretty much how these things are being said. And a lot of us speakers and let's just say ascended masters or spiritual speakers, masters, we all understood that. And even if it, oh, shit, your alphabet, you learn it by association. There's a song A B C, like by you even saying all of that. So those are all the power of words. But that is being displayed in many different ways where you could use it to enhance your memory, because these are all things that our ancestors knew and understood when it comes to words. So most people sometimes they talk about intentions, to each his own. But for me, when we're talking about the true power of words, that's what this shit is. If you know anything about the Egyptians' Book of the Dead, if you know about the I Ching, it's written in a poetry style because there's a whole bunch of how it's being said, the wisdom that is locked in it. It's mind blowing. Like it does a certain thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And even the people that go to church too, even the black church, right? So when you hear the guy go like, "Hey, go on, preach on," that's right, Pat. That's right. However people choose to respond to it, that's the word, that is doing its thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a sucker for it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a sucker for that shit. But anyway, so in this channel here, what I'm saying, that's what we do. And I strongly recommend that you guys check out my other channel, Lespri. I mean, we go by the same. I mean, it's my spiritual name. However, in this particular channel here, we specialize on expanding on a lot of those quotes. So I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness through those quotes, and those quotes by themselves are powerful. As as I just explained, the ability that they have to bypass your conscious mind, to capture your mind, to demand attention from you, and then now to get you in a space where you are open to listen to the knowledge that is within those statements. So that alone for me, it's mind blowing. But anyway, um, welcome. That's what we do here, and that's what I do as a spiritual healer in this particular channel. Now, in Lespri, which is the other channel, I mean, it's more like general, I go in on that one. I mean, I still go in over here too, but you know, I kind of, I mean, it's the same person, right? But like I have my hookah, I'm smoking, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different world, and I get to talk a lot of other shit. I mean, hopefully, I mean, it's I don't approach it the same way here, but essentially, you still listen. You're not gonna miss out on your money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your money worth. And how much was that again? Can you please remind me? You know? But I'm saying that to say, listen, man, listen. I'm still gonna give you all of me. That's what I'm saying. Now, as a disclaimer, and I always like to let people know, a lot of the quotes that I used, like for me, when it comes to wisdom, wisdom is wisdom, regardless of where it comes from. And what that means to me is something that is true in Buddhism. I mean, well, to me, right? So it's no, it's not. How can I say this? Let's put it this way, right? If a 5-year old tell you something truthful, it's not gonna make it any less truth because it came out of a 5-year old mouth. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why for me, when it comes to those quotes, I mean, I get them from every sources. It's almost like it matter, but it doesn't matter because when it comes to the truth, man, the truth is the truth. What are you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be like, oh fuck those Buddhists? You know what I'm saying? That shit was true though, but fuck them. It doesn't matter to me because ultimately it's what those quotes are. I mean, it's the ability of those quotes to enhance or to help you to attain that higher level of consciousness, which is ultimately our goal here, living on Earth, or even to you for you to become sane, for you to attain a sanity, a state of mind of sanity. I mean, shit, like, what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And spirituality is the only way for you to attain or for you to become sane. And when we're talking about spirituality, which this is something else that I do on my other channel, which is Lespri, where I go in a little bit more, but I guess I'll just talk about it just a little bit here, just so you guys understand. When it comes to spirituality, it's your regular life. It's what you're dealing with. It's having a deeper understanding of who you are, the person that you are. And to find the person that you are, well, you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper. You would have to go beyond the surface. You have to go beyond what you appear to be, and then now for you to understand your essence. Because nothing is what it seems. And that's the reality that we are living in. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us are being betrayed by other people. I mean, to know who your friends are, you gotta find them. Just like to know anybody, you gotta find who that person is. But that person could be standing next to you though. You know what I'm saying? And you still need to find them because they are more than what they appear to be. So again, we are the mystery of all mysteries. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. I guess the actual disclaimer was that a lot of those quotes, listen, man, they come from everywhere. Every quote is welcome here. You know what I'm saying? As long as it does what it does, there's a whole amount of truth that is in it, and we could be blessed and elevated from it. Listen. It doesn't act out any less on me. I mean, I still experience the power of the words, if that makes any sense. But anyway, that's out of the way. Let's do what we came here to do. So as you can see in the title here, this is oh my god. Give me a second. It's already fucking me up, right? So, to know it all, it's like, how the fuck did this shit go? Hold up, man. because I always tend to not remember these things. Hey man, but listen, I got you guys right now, right? So it goes like this, right? To know it all, it is necessary to know very little. But to know that very little, one must first know pretty much. Let me say it again, right? To know it all, it is necessary for you to know very little. But to know that very little, one must know pretty much. And this is from a guy, IG. Those strange names, so I'm not gonna get into the name. Hey, I'm not gonna do it any injustice just because I can't say the guy's name, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But I guess to sums up pretty much in terms of, I think it might be from the Sufis, right? If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, fully loaded statement, guys. Fully loaded statement. What this is talking about here, oh my God. To know it all, first of all, let me break that down a little bit. I think what the author was trying to say here, I mean, because nobody knows it all. But I think the assumption to me is that to be knowledgeable, because there's a difference being to be knowledgeable and to know it all. So, um, again, I get what he's saying by to know it all, but I think what he's implying is to be knowledgeable. So when we're talking about being knowledgeable, what that means is that you understand how most things operate. So you have a good understanding, or what most people would say a common, um, what's the word that people use? Like a common, not a common sense, but it's pretty much a common understanding on different things, meaning you know how most things operate. You have a general understanding on how most things work. And that's what a knowledgeable person is. That's where, us being the spiritual healers, or, what I'm saying, or speakers, light workers, however you like to label us, or anyone else who's doing the same type of job too. Like ultimately, we are knowledgeable people, because not because we know everything, but we have a good grasp on how, you know, a lot of general shit works. A basic understanding of that would be, in fact, my last recording, I was talking about how it's not even vital. There's no other way for you to transform without making mistakes. So your growth, for you to grow, or for you to transform mentally, or even to attain a higher level of realization, you have to make mistakes. That's a must. So having that little bit of understanding, but then again, but when you understand that, then you see a direct relationship between your transformation and your mistakes. So then now it gives you a different analogy when it comes to how do you look at your mistakes now. I mean, the only way your mistake remains a mistake, if only if you don't learn from it. But if you learn from it, meaning it gives you something that you didn't have before, can you truly look at it as a mistake? So when you have the actual understanding about that's how pretty much life works, anything that you're going to go through, like if we're talking about a general understanding of how things work, no matter if you're doing it for the first time, it's you're going to need to fail a lot more for you to succeed. In fact, the more you fail, the better you'll get, because that's part of our nature. That's how we learn. That's how we elevate. And that's why in that recording, and I'm going to say it now too, it's important for you to adopt that state of mind. And when you do, now you're seeing this reality on a whole different level. Now, failure is no longer a failure. A failure for you now becomes an opportunity. And ironically, that's what I mean when I'm talking about, I don't believe to be in positivism, or to have a positive, how those people, everything is positive. Like, I don't see it that way. But I do understand, I do see it as having a positive outlook on shit. Meaning that shit kicked my ass, but I learned from it. I earned my stripes. So, meaning I get to accept it for what it is, and at the same time, I'm able to transcend from it, if that makes any sense. So it's not holding me down. I see it for what it is, but I'm also overcoming that. Oh, listen, shit. It's your food, man. It's in the house. That's what we do, baby. Get your medicine. So, going back to that, when you understand, having that understanding on a general, again, it's not being knowing everything, but it's to be knowledgeable, right? So, having that type of understanding, shit, where the fuck was I gonna go with that? Okay, I guess I was just trying to use the same Okay, so I mean, there's so many different things that's being said here, man. All right, let's just take it step by step. I got a little bit ahead of myself here, right? So going back to the statement itself, you must know very little, right? But that very little, it's a whole lot. Now, if we're using that very little, right, which is, well, I mean, your mistakes, you can only succeed. And listen, uh, what was that Ilea song? If at first you don't succeed, try again. I think that's the name of that song. Everybody tells you the same thing. I mean, it's not at this point. I mean, because just like I was saying in that recording yesterday, I'm not here. I'm no motivational speaker, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This is not about to motivate you. This is just telling you the truth. This is not to inspire you. This is for you to know what the fuck it is. Anybody and everybody who ever succeeded or who ever did anything, they had to put the time in. They had to fail a whole lot. So I'm saying that to say, when you understand that, and let me say this too. I'm not sure if I said it yesterday, but I think I'm gonna say it today. If I didn't say it yesterday, you're gonna hear it here, right? So when you adapt that mentality, then you start seeing this reality from that perspective. It's almost like you have transcended what people are calling good, what people are calling bad, because now you have adopted a Godhead mentality, so that little uh, let's just say uh, 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 conflict between good and evil, you have automatically transcended that. Because then you understand, just like I was saying yesterday, and I definitely did mention that, you could see the polarity in the good and the bad. And having that type of mentality alone should make you stand out. That's where, that knowledge, you being transformed by the knowledge. That's how understanding that the words now will be made flesh, because now that's when you become wise. Now you start looking at this reality from a whole different perspective, and your whole approach to it too have to be different, because failure is no longer failing. I mean, can you imagine, like, when you adopt a mentality, like, and this is not something you just saying to yourself just to say to yourself. Everybody says the same thing. Who do you know who have become successful who have not worked hard, bro? Unless if you're a fucking hater. Only the haters, you know what I'm saying? The like the codependents, the no lives, the ones who have no character, who have no dream on their own, who's looking to feed off other people. Only those people think everybody just got it easy. And in my other channel, listen, I had dedicated a whole video on those for those motherfuckers. Because I understand the way to work because I was among them. So they always think, somehow, it's a miracle. They have this gamble mentality. And in reality, they're all gamblers too. But they also see it that way because they think it's either I'm lucky or I'm not lucky. Meanwhile, everybody else is working hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kanye West. I was watching this fucking documentary probably a month ago. Like, you know how long it took for that motherfucker to start making money? Of course, he was hanging out with all the motherfuckers that was making money. At one point, they couldn't know how to sell this nigga. Was he a producer? Was he a rapper? Like so much shit this motherfucker had to go through, man. Come on, man. Check out. Hey, check out the footage. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, study the game tapes. No one got it easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? But these delusional motherfuckers, because they don't accept who they are. Oh my God, he doesn't belong. He doesn't like it. It was always like, you know what I'm saying? He is such and such, doesn't deserve it. Meanwhile, everybody else is working hard, but they put themselves in a judging position. Now you are the judge. But you ain't doing shit. And for the most part, this is what they do. They do actually do something for themselves, which is destroying themselves. And then blaming everybody else for it. Unbelievable, but true. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like the shit I was able to see. You know what I'm saying? Like I still feel like even by me saying it, I still feel like it's not true. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just to show you how crazy that shit is. But anyway, going back to the whole conversation itself. So to be knowledgeable, if we're using that same example, right? So when you understand that little piece, right? So if we're using the same example that we used yesterday, or in my last recording, where I was talking about you need to fail for you to succeed, and how it is like there's no other way around. You see what I'm saying? Like you have to understand and retrain your mind to understand the only reason why we keep failing is just for you to get up. And this is one of my favorite lines too. In one of the, I think it was in Batman Begin by Christopher Nolan, when he was asking Bruce, "Why do we fail?" So you know how to get up, and that's the only reason. Once you understand that, come on now, baby, keep getting up, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you do. You gotta keep getting up, baby. In fact, even as a toddler, as a baby, if you didn't keep getting up, you wouldn't be walking today. Your legs would have been all fucked up. You probably would be handicapped, to be honest. Because for your legs to get stronger, I mean, you needed to go through that repetition of you crawling or trying to hold on to something and you trying to get up all of that or making baby steps, then you fall again. Listen, this is when you start looking at it from those lenses, reality has a different meaning for you. And for me, that's the mentality I have adopted. So I mean, you got listen, like you got I look at life from a whole different perspective. I guess lucky for me, or anybody else would have adopted that because I'm not the only one saying it. I mean, in fact, it's been said way before I even got on Earth, but I had to wake up to it. I had to see the beauty for myself because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. That's why nobody can save you. And as a spiritual healer, my job here is to hold the mirror of wisdom so you can see yourself in it. Because if what I'm saying don't make sense to you, it has to make sense to you. That should already make sense to me. In fact, I don't even have to say shit. You know what I'm saying? But as part of my, my belovedhood, doing my father's work, helping us to reconnect. So I'm just holding on that mirror, baby. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, shit. You know what I'm saying? You can fight yourself all you want. But anyway, going back to the conversation at hand, because I want to keep it short, because I tend to, and there's so many different things to talk about too. But anyway, having that proper understanding, even that's something as little as that. Oh, listen, it's understanding how most things work, or how the general things work. And because I understand that, let's just say if a new opportunity were to present it himself to me, I know what it takes, man. Let's start felling. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I know I'm gonna get my looks. You know what I'm saying? The repetitions, you're learning how to say it better. Shit, nigga. I remember even behind this fucking camera. I used to be, and guess what? There's no one around me, and then here I am talking. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I'm like, this shit is something else. Now, can you imagine being a porn star now? Now you fucking and there's a camera in your like even to get you still maintain a hard like to make your dick hard while everybody's watching you and shit. That alone, I mean, I don't know. For me personally, you know what I'm saying? I'm not into all that freaky deaky shit. But even if I'm fucking in the room, there's somebody next to it. I'd still want to be okay. Let's keep it. Let's just keep it low. You know? So imagine like somebody just like, yo, let me see. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, I mean, and of course, I'm pretty sure whoever started, why the fuck am I talking about porn anyway? Hey, listen, it's educational purposes, okay? So I'm pretty sure the first time these niggas had to do that, they had to do what they had to do. But then, you know what I'm saying? Again, having that little bit of understanding, it's a whole lot, although it is little. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot. And this is the play on words too. This is also showing you pretty much, the paradox that we all have to embrace in life. To know it all or to become knowledgeable, you gotta know the thing that matters. Because when it comes to and here's another way of saying that. Like I always tell people, it's not how much you understand. It's not how much you see. But it's how are you looking at it. That's what makes a difference. So when it comes to quality, beholder, it's how sharp is your vision. Because we all see shit, but that's why beauty is in the eye of the beholder. How are you looking at it? So that's why it is your duty and responsibility to elevate your inner vision, to develop your inner vision. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta drink some carrot juice, nigga, make sure you get your vision right. Because to the pure, all is pure. So again, in that small little statement, there is so much that is being said here, because one of the first thing that is being said is for you to embrace the polarity in everything. I mean, not necessarily the polarity, the paradox, right? Because we're talking about knowing everything, and then you got to know a little bit, and then for you to know that little bit, you got to know a whole lot. So it's kind of like a play on words, but that's the beauty of it too. So I know for me, when I first read that, I'm like, oh no, this is something we need to talk about. Do you see what I'm saying? Because what this is also revealing as well, like I always tell people, and me being originally from Haiti too, like we have this saying, like if you have a billion, let's just say a trillion unripe mangoes, and then there's only one ripe mango, that trillion mango means nothing. Why? Because you can't eat it. It's not edible. What are you gonna do with it? It's like having like another piece of stone next to you. But that one, regardless of how small that ripe mango is, oh man, listen. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's why for me, once I understand that, I develop a quality perspective in myself, and that quality perspective entails you enhancing your inner vision. And truly, when it comes to knowing it all, or to be knowledgeable, it's another way of saying that would be it's not how much you see, but it's how you're looking at it. And the little how you're looking at it makes a world of difference. Because you could be a brilliant idiot. You know, like if you're building, like you're talking about those billion mangoes, can you imagine like having a billion unripe mangoes, and now you start talking about the differences in them. This is the big ones. They categorize as this and that, and then at the end of it all, sir, are those edible? No. Okay. Well, it was good to know. Shit, knowledge is knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But what can we really do with it for right now? Do you see what I'm saying? Versus if they were all right, then now you start breaking it down to me. I'm like, okay, I think I want to try this one. You know what I'm saying? Then because you have different type of mangoes. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it here, but I hope you get the point. So for me, and this is another beauty in those statements too, man. It's like, and I forgot to mention that in the very beginning, is that it's the wealth of knowledge that you didn't have to go through it, but it helps you to experience it. Because for most of us, you got to go through certain experiences for you to see it. And with those statements, they allow you, and that's the only shortcut. Just like I tell people, there's no shortcut in life. But if there's any shortcuts, that would probably be the only shortcut. That would have to be the power of words. It would have to be those statements, those proverbs. It would have to be those. But then again, if you have not fully invested into that statement, or if you have not somehow, if it has not, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like if it has not been made flesh in you, it means nothing. But at the same time, the transfer. But it may, there's an opportunity there for you to transform if you fully invested in it, if you fully grasp it, and shit like that. Of course, you don't have to have a billion mango, unripe mango, with one ripe mango to understand the difference between quality. If me displaying that picture, and again, this is to show you it's never been quantity, it's always quality. Do you see what I'm saying? And here's something else too. And I see a lot of people struggle with that too, even when it comes to money. Your people, listen, do you know what they do with money? They print money. If you know they print, there's no way you should do anything stupid for money, bro. But I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you identify yourself with certain things, and here's something else too. What you identify yourself with. But anyway, going back to the conversation at hand, to that fully loaded statement. What I'm saying? To be knowledgeable or to know it all. What I'm saying? It's required of you to know a little bit, and that little bit, just like I previously described, is to know everything. So the everything that you know, which is that little bit, it's pretty much that's the quality in the information. This is you, the beholder, having the ability to understand that it's not how much you see, but it's how are you looking at it, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. How you see it, Mali.